Hello people, this is Ryder here to review the Kamen Geats DX Boost Mark II raised buckle. So this is the start of the, not start, yeah technically it is, this is the, what is considered the mid-season power-up or the super form time for Ryder. So in the equivalent of Geats, we have Boost Mark II, the second, the upgrade of Boost, which I guess we can call Mark 1. So here we have Boost Mark II right here, and Boost Mark II within the Desire driver, how it works, Boost Mark II raise buckle, cautionary and warnings, the contents, PDF, QR code for the PDF file, everything you can do with it, and such. Jeez. So here we have the raised buckle out, like so, and you can definitely tell it's severely different from Boost Mark II. Like, it still carries some elements, somewhat. Other than that, yeah, this is definitely the most funky looking raised buckle. So we have a red handle. It's all right. There's the little silver, that is, and then there's this gold, which I think was, I mean, like, basically the two colors I would kind of correlate with Boost are no longer present. We got the LED, basically what's for the Desire driver. We got those random purple C for later stuff, and we just have a bunch of red. The back, yet again, because this thing is just a standard raised buckle, it's hollow. But I mean, you can evidently see these, the details are going to come out. And this one within the track system is 060, and the QR code for nothing, as it only sends you to the actual site. No more Gamba Legends compatibility. And when you do open this up, you have, instead of 4 of these things flailing out. Like, I get they're supposed to be foxtails and everything, like, and I guess it's smart that they hid the chrome down here, but I don't know. I'm not too big on this buckle. The only thing significant about it is that there's these cutouts for something. Other than that, like, I don't know. To me, it feels like it's very stocky. It feels very stocky, I guess. It honestly feels like what would have been the first form. Because compared to Boost Mark 1, I guess, like, I feel like Boost Mark 1 has so much more of an identity than Mark 2. Like, you can tell they took part of a bike, like, they took the handle and they took the exhaust and, like, combined it into, like, something sleek looking and such. And I just feel like the gimmick here just is a lot more satisfying. I like this heavy click that happens when these two parts spread to reveal the half gold circle and such. And just, I like how, like, even if this is for the mechanism, I like how well ingrained in the design it is. But just, I don't know, like, this honestly feels like such a downgrade. Heck, like, this one's more hollowed out than Mark 1. Like, I don't mind this portion, honestly. I'm fine with this portion. I just don't like the actual Boost Mark II-ness of it. Because it's just, I get where they're going with this, but I don't know. Like, this is such a downgrade. Like, that's all I can really say. However, when we actually use it within the desired driver, if we can actually slot it in. So as you can see, it still retains the green LED, and obviously just like boost, we just drive it up once. I really do like how they carried over the like flame design from Boost Mark 1. And just the sounds overall are really nice. But then when we do the finishers, they actually do carry over the same ones. So that means we still have boost time. So obviously it doesn't acknowledge it as Boost Mark 2, it's still programmed just to be Boost, which I get it and such. And like this in the driver overall by itself, I think it's fine. It's when you look at from up here, it looks weird because obviously so obviously because Boost Mark 2 does not have this section of, like, it's missing this core part of the raise buckle. So that makes it feel completely empty and also exposes the top, like, layer. So, like, you have to look at it from, like, a perspective of basically ignoring this part is empty to, like, have this illusion be, like, successful, which I think it's fine for the most part. And then here we go with the most useless gimmick. So apparently in this mode it allows Geats within Boost Mark 2 to transform into the Fox. I don't understand why they thought that was necessary. Yeah. But the only reason why we're doing this is so then we can actually show off the ability that you can still use raise buckles with this. However, obviously, you cannot use any other big buckles with it due to this side. So you can't properly do a Magnum and Boost Mark 2 boost. That did not make sense. However, thankfully, because of the weapon raise buckles, we can do that. So I'll only show Magnum Boost Mark 2, because if you want to see these two, then watch the demo. Because you can clearly see that this is still exposed and such, but so yeah, here is Geats Boost Mark 2 Armed Magnum? Technically? I don't know, but yeah, so basically you can still do Magnum Boost and like Zombie Boost, Ninja Boost, Beat Boost. You can't do Monster Boost because it's not going to fit. It's just that they're not different, which is upsetting. But, oh well, we'll revolve back on as we will try to just do the next thing, which is basically only other prime reason, is actually using the laser raise riser with this. So we'll put that in first. And then just slot this in like so. So as you can see, both of them emit green, while the laser raise riser now, instead of emitting white, will actually go through a 7 LED. And then basically this works out like Fever, where you need to activate boost first, but you need to do it before it completes itself, and then press the trigger. And now we are transformed into Geats Laser Boost, which, while the form I think is pretty neat, I don't get what they're going with this. Like, I like the laser raise riser half, but I feel like I only like it by itself because I feel like these two things together, I don't get what they're trying to go for. Like, they purposely did this because they obviously want to mirror Magnum Boost, because this is supposed to be basically Magnum Boost Mark II, but I just don't think it works as well, just due to the laser raise riser just kind of sitting here. Like, I don't know, it's like, I feel like this is not something that would be a power-up. Because I feel like I kind of wish there was like some way of like maneuvering the handle, so then it just didn't look like, because it's still a gun. The belt has now just become a gun, and I don't know, like, the only thing I really like about this is that it really fills out the desire driver, because obviously, like, for example, the laser raise riser has this part, so it actually helps that, and like, it also fills out the bottom too. So I like that it makes it full to an extent. Like, obviously the laser raise riser doesn't cover this portion because you need to access the trigger. But like, other than that, like, I like how full it looks. It's just, I don't know, the execution of the look is really weird, and I don't think it reflects the form well. Anyways, we do have our standard finishers, so if we rev this up once, and I forgot to note this too, so we will do it again. But, so obviously we get Hyper Boost yet again, and then if we flip this, we enter a standby phase, to which then we have to press the trigger, actually press it, to get laser boost victory, and that's the sole finisher you get out of this, which is kind of disappointing. You don't get a grand victory, sadly, but yeah, that's technically it. However, there's another way to transform, and that's basically by inserting Boost Mark II second, because the main way I showed off was inserting the laser raise riser, which is why this thing will say setup. However, if you insert Boost Mark II second, it will just immediately jump to the standby. And then, just to show, you can't interrupt this standby by flicking this, which is neat. And then, obviously, it will just say boost. I always appreciate all the color. Like, I always appreciate this tries to emulate the colorfulness of Magnum Boost. Because, as you can tell from here, the reason why they chose this track specifically is that when it's paired with Boost or Magnum, it will actually emit red with it. And I get that to the extent, but it would have been like, because of this thing trying to be like the next Magnum Boost, I would have really liked if there was some way they actually programmed it with when you paired it with Boost to like do the same like color cycle, because it's cool that the laser rays riser tries to emulate that, but it is kind of more depressing that it's just flashing red. It's at least cool it changes colors, but like I don't know, it's just upsetting. And I feel like this is kind of where the laser rays riser kind of faults because of how this trigger works, because because sometimes you can press the trigger but it won't hit, it won't be hard enough to hit the button here for the desire driver, which is honestly annoying. And as I just showed here, just pressing the trigger here, it will do the same exact finisher. It doesn't matter whether or not you do the finish mode, which honestly irks me, because if this thing is trying to be more powerful, I don't get why you can't get 2 finishers out of this. But speaking of finishers, you can do this again. And also, it's just kind of weird looking at the LEDs from here, because obviously the laser rays riser is covering the endpoint, so you're just looking at like a square. I mean, yeah, then again, like, I know it's like, well, technically you have this boost side, so you can do those stuff, but I kind of wish this, like, the laser rays riser itself had its own secondary finisher and such. But other than that, you know, just take the 2 out, and you should be good. And obviously, the way that this one works within here is that when you just simply insert it here, it doesn't do anything. That's just due... Basically, the laser rays riser, no, the boost mode 2 hits the 3rd button here, but this third button's programmed to only function when this button is pressed. So technically, to an extent, just like Power Builder, there could have been a second system. It's just that basically when this button is pressed, they basically made it so all the other buttons don't do anything, except for the one that is Boost Mark 2. I at least know what I'm talking about in this video. Lastly, Magnum Shooter. So, just like the laser rays riser, you can't stick it. However, I'll just say this right now. I'll actually... Why am I putting this away? I'll probably just put in the footage from the demo. Actually, no. I'll just tell you. This one just does the same sound as Boost. It doesn't... all versions of Boost are just read as Boost and such. Even the revving, so... you're not really missing anything. It's just... this one, it's basically situated like great. So, yeah. Alright. So overall, my thoughts on the Boost Mark II raised buckle. It's definitely... so I definitely like the fact that we are finally getting another raised buckle that actually has a track comprised of a preloaded sound in here. I feel like that's definitely refreshing, so then we don't... because sometimes at this point in like Ryder, like Saber, we basically enter like a hard void of, okay, we're just in this void of being stuck with like gimmicks that have their own sounds and such, and it just gets tiring because sometimes we just need stuff that breaks that apart. And so it's nice that we, after like technically December, from March, like December to March, we finally have a raised buckle that is pre-programmed within the Desire driver. I think the best part of this buckle is probably the sounds, just because I do like the Boost Mark II sounds. Again, like what I said before, I'm not too big on its appearance. Like, I do like how... I guess I like what they're trying to go for, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Not really on board with what they're doing with it. And just... you know, the laser boost stuff is fun. Definitely, like I like putting those two buckles together, but like at the same time though, I kind of wish there was a better way of conveying an upgraded, like conveying the like functionality of Magnum Boost, because Magnum Boost was fun because like you got to do so much on that belt, but like this one you're just stuck to, okay, rev this up once and then press the trigger because like you don't want it to say boost. And then like obviously like you have to press the trigger, but then the trigger's not really cooperative. Like that's why sometimes when I mess with this, I just simply flick it and then press the button because it, you know, it doesn't affect anything. It just resets the standby. So it's just, I guess it's kind of more on fault with how raised buckles work when you use them with buckles that aren't programmed into the desired driver. So I kind of wish there was like a better execution to it, basically, or if they just, again, like I guess programmed this specific track better, because again, to prove my point again, if I were to use Magnum, as you can see, it's also red. But then if I use Zombie, you can see that it still keeps its color. So definitely, so basically this track specifically has something programmed specifically for Magnum Boost. But we're not going to see more of that because they're only going to use it for this one. Or basically for any boost form and such. But I mean, it doesn't mean that like this thing is necessarily bad. It's just not one of my favorites of like these releases and such. But I still recommend for you to get this thing if you already have the Laser Raise Riser, if you're a big fan of the form. I think this one should be on the cheaper side just because it's not that much. It's just basically the same cost as like a single raise buckle, and you can also get this in a bundle with the Laser Raise Riser, which I feel will probably be worth it and such. But yeah, now to do this review because I'm running out of the duration. This is Ryder now. Leave people. Bye.